Okay, I think we're live. Yes. Hey, it's Nicola here from Conscious Crypto Traders. Welcome, 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 welcome. And we're going to get into live technical analysis for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Most importantly, we're going to look at what are pump and dump dates that we need to be aware of based on the Ichimoku Cloud, as well as astrology, the full moon, new moon, Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and so on. I have done these dates before, but we've got a whole lot of new subscribers. So I want to make sure that you're marking these dates in your calendar, marking these dates on your chart, so you can be aware of your trades around those times that we may see pumps and dumps. And most importantly, let's speculate around about the dates where we transition out of a bull market into a bear market, 2-year bull cycle approximately, and then a 2-year bear cycle approximately, right? That is if we are going to continue the pattern that Bitcoin has had since the beginning within that 4-year halving to halving cycle. So if that sounds exciting to you, I'd love for you to support the channel by clicking the like button on this live stream. And if you're new to the channel, we are a tutorial channel teaching you technical analysis, mindset training on crypto, as well as NFTs, metaverse, and DeFi. We have tutorials that get uploaded frequently, and we go live every Wednesday with a few emergency TA videos in between. So if you want to subscribe, hit the bell and click all, you'll get notified when that happens. Although we have had some feedback from some of our peeps that they're not getting the notification of when we're posting to go live. So that means it's important for you to then perhaps head on over to our Twitter at Conscious Crypto Traders. The link is below, and then you can get the tweet out when we post it, and so that you know, put in your calendar. But it's 11:30 Central Standard Time or Mountain Time at the moment, since we've just had daylight savings every Wednesday. Hey Raz, great to see you here. Love for all of you to give a bit of a shout out, say hi, where you're from and where you're at in your crypto journey, as we look at important dates for pumps and dumps, plus some technical analysis, any possibility of a trade setup coming up in the next few days. And just before I go into Bitcoin, I just want to remind you that under each of our videos, we have some wonderful support mechanisms for you. The first one, here's all about our NFT collection, because we've just got into NFTs because so much crypto profit is going to be moving over into NFTs. I'm going to talk about that today, so you can visit our project. But we've got a free course for beginners on crypto trading for beginners, my Magic 10 formula for building a residual income using using crypto. And then there's my private mastermind class where we get together on Zoom 4 times out of every month, each week on Tuesday afternoons, Central Time. And then there's a whole lot of training on technical analysis that you can join. We did a conscious crypto trading event last year with MMCrypto, Da Vinci J15, the blockchain today, Didi Taihutu from the Bitcoin family, amongst other influencers online, all about crypto trading strategies and how to segue out of the bull market into the bear market. So you can get the replay of that down here as well. And we've got some other, all our social media and so on is down there. So make sure that you check that out. So I like every now and then to delete all my lines on my charts and start all over again to see, now that we've got more price action, what is coming up? Like, what is there something that we've missed? So when I look at Bitcoin on the monthly, I'm kind of now thinking that this could either be a bull pennant, or it could be an ascending triangle with a bullish bias breaking to the upside. And I'm going to go over what the target would be and when we're going to break out for that in the next chart that I want to show you. For now, I just want to show you the overall structure We are creating higher lows. So to me, this is still a bullish structure. We are in a bullish pattern. And I just got truth bumps. Do you get goosebumps whenever you say something that's kind of resonating with the truth? We are in a bullish pattern on the bigger time frame, and bigger time frame patterns generally break out more often than smaller time frame patterns. Smaller time frames like 1 hour and less, often those patterns can get invalidated. But once it's on a bigger time frame, it's more likely to play out. Now, here's the interesting thing. The pinnacle of where we will break out of this pattern, right, creating here is around about the 1st of June onwards. So that's interesting. However, what if we move these lines and, oopsie, and we go here, right? Then we're creating an ever so slightly upward trending narrowing wedge, in which case it's a bearish bias, breaks to the downside, and we could just go up for one more round, maybe come back down and go back up again, and then that would be the bull cycle over at 80,000, not reaching those 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 this year that are so many analysts are talking about. I am just calling this a triangle for now, but I'm not married to that, just to let you know. I am not at all married to it. I'm just always redrawing lines to see where we're going. Either way, I kind of feel like we've got a trend reversal happening anyway inside of a bullish pattern for now, getting ready to head up to the next big layer of resistance. And if you see here on the monthly, we've got a ascending triangle, which is a trend reversal pattern, bullish bias, breaks to the upside, which could happen in April or May, because we're coming to the pinnacle of the triangle. So that's the big picture overview. Now let's have a look at dates that you need to be watching out for. If you like that, by the way, and you haven't liked this live stream, we'd love you to click that like button and let the YouTube algorithm know that we're putting out value. So let's go to this chart here where I've got all my dates in. And we want to go to the weekly so that you can see it more clearly. And let me go over these dates. Usually a full moon, we can often retrace into a full moon reverse, and we see a bullish pump. And I'll show you that in a minute when we go on to the daily. For the new moon, we often see the top of the market in a bull cycle. And once we get to the top of the market, or the top of the run that's happening right then, there is a reversal to the downside on a new moon. Mercury retrograde, which is what we've got here, is often a reversal of the trend that we're going into at the time. So whichever way we're going, it reverses and goes the other direction. So if we're going bullish, it turns around and goes down. If we're going bearish, vice versa, right? Generally speaking, in a bullish market though, Mercury retrograde is a pump to the upside. Then we have Saturn retrograde here. And Saturn retrograde, Saturn is a planet of restriction, finances. That can often be a very sizable dump. Now, this is what we need to watch out for. On the 10th of May, we go Mercury retrograde. And then on the 4th of June, we go Saturn retrograde. So these retrogrades are conjuncting each other within a 2 to 3 week cycle. The last time we had that was over here, when we had Mercury retrograde, then Saturn retrograde, and we had a big dump, right? We had a smaller dump, came back up, and then a really big dump. So I am watching very closely that from the 10th of May through to the 4th of June as being dates that we could potentially end this bullish cycle and then flip bearish and head down for 2 years. That's what I'm thinking. Now, could we break to the downside earlier, and are we already in a bull cycle? Well, I think a bear cycle rather. I think because we're creating higher lows and higher highs on the higher time frame, that bullish structure has not been broken yet. So because it hasn't been broken, it is my bias, I guess, that we are still in an upward trend on the larger time frames. On the shorter time frame, we've been in a downward trend for 3 months now. And with that ascending triangle, which is a trend reversal, we could be seeing the trend reversal. So let's have a look at these dates. I think that this full moon going up to the next new moon is going to be a telltale for us to see whether or not we're going to keep trading sideways in a narrowing range here, if this is a triangle, or in the next new moon, are we going to break out and go to the top, in which case it's not a triangle, it's that ascending wedge that we talked about. What is your win-loss ratio in trading? At the moment, it's about 90. So about 10% losses. I haven't lost a trade for 4 months, because I've switched up my strategy. Mostly because I was doing pattern trading, and so many patterns if you're day trading have been busted up and been invalidated. So I switched my strategy. But it's a really good question to ask. So we are looking at the daily now. Let's have a look at these moons. How I use the moon phases is not, it's not 100% accurate, but it is, I just use them. This is the moon phase. And in Trading View, you just go into indicators, you go into, you put into the search bar, moon phases, and it will come up. That's the one I'm using here. And it gives me the full moon and the new moon. We're conscious crypto traders, so we're more conscious and more spiritual in our approach to trading. If that's not your thing, that's okay, that's fine. I'm not here to argue, and I'm not here to convince you. But if you've got eyes and you look at this moon phase chart, you will see consistently that new moons, we often get a little bit of a retracement or a big retracement, depending on what else is going on in the charts at the time. So here we go, new moon, we got to the top of this, we kept going up, 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 we get to the top, new moon, we came down a little bit. Now, because we were in an overall upward trend, we reversed a little bit and then came back down and created a lower low, so that a new moon, generally speaking, is a downward trend for 2 weeks going to the full moon. And the full moon, generally speaking, is where we find the bottom, and then we reverse up to the new moon. So you can see here for 2 weeks, we got to here. 2 weeks we went down, 2 weeks we went up, 2 weeks we went down, 2 weeks we went up, 2 weeks we went down. This is where we started going sideways, because we were getting a little bit of a shift in the actual trend. Instead of pumping up, we were going into a downward trend. So it does shift whether we've been going into a downward trend or not. But I really encourage you to get this on your chart and have a look at the behavior. New moons, we usually top out, reverse to the downside around about the new moon, or just after, or just before. Full moon, same as the opposite. We usually bottom out and then have a reversal to the upside. So we have a full moon at 3:17 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, the United States time zone, Friday. Right, that's 18th. So that's the 19th for those that are in the, you know, in the down under. So what we saw last time when we had a full moon is we kept bottoming out, because remember, full moon is finding the bottom for the reversal to the upside. Because we were in this trend reversal, we did deviate from the pattern a little bit, but then we flipped bullish. Right, here's the full moon here. We came up a little bit, had a little bit of a rally on the full moon, but then we dumped a little bit lower, and then we came up again. But the general trend from the full moon to the new moon has been a higher low. So if you look at the full moon happening at the end of this week to the full moon that we had over here, it looks like we could create a higher low. So if we do get a dump, we might not go lower than 35,000, right? We could get some kind of a correction later today or tomorrow, and come back down to support. And because we've got Saturn aspecting it in a more positive way, Saturn is the rules finance, the house of finance, and it's also control as well. It could be controlled in its dump, meaning it's not going to be a huge 50% dump or even a 30% dump, just retracing into it. So for Coda, I see what you've done. Yeah, got it. The word you're wanting is actually what is your win-loss ratio, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So I want to speculate on when we're going to see the bull market, because it's going to make a difference if you're in longs or you're getting into longs when we get this new moon pump, because the new moon, full moon pump rather, because the new moon on the 1st of April is really important because of the halving cycle. So if we actually, I should have pulled this chart up here. You should all be following the rainbow Bitcoin chart, because it gives us the pattern of when we could be likely to go into a bear market or a bull market. And if you have a look at the patterns that we've got here from the past, coming all the way over here, here's the halving, and there's the halving there, the halving there, and the halving there. Generally speaking, leading up in the first bull cycle, when we start getting towards the middle of the 4-year cycle, we started to come back down into the bear cycle. Then in the next halving, we started to come back down a couple of months later than the last halving. So here, what did we do? We started our descent in, what was that, November? Something like that, around November, December. This is where we started it in, it was December, January. And then here, the indication would be that the middle is around about April, I think it is, January, February, March, April, May, right? The middle of the cycle. So if we look at that pattern of extending the bull market each time in terms of time, not in terms of the months, but in terms of how many months we go into the upward trend, then that places us in the middle of April as a potential reversal, which is around about a full moon, and a full moon is usually a pump. So we usually get a reversal to the downside into the full moon, with a reversal to the upside around about the full moon after the full moon, right? Have a look at this: full moon, new moon to full moon dump, and then we pump, right? Approximately. It's not 100% accurate, right? So remember, we've got Mercury retrograde the 10th of May, and we've got Saturn retrograde the 4th of June, which is within a couple of weeks of each other. And the last time we got that conjunction, we had a hard dump, and then we had a little bit of a correction to the upside, and then even creating a lower high, and then we had a hard dump to the downside, right? So that is what I am looking at for when we could be finding our market top, anywhere from the in reality, anywhere from the 1st of April through to the June. I think as traders, we have to be super, super careful getting into longs, and maybe you want to be looking at your strategy and adapting your strategy, which is what I did. I've adapted my strategy to be scalping more than leaving my trades open for days and days and days and days. Maybe when we get a big run and it looks all cool, I might shift that strategy. But at the moment, we're tending to hit our resistance lines really nicely and those are good places to take profit. So let's niche down into the 4 hour and see where we're at with any potential trade setups for Bitcoin. I don't know if you guys watch Carl from the Moon, who is one of my trusted people that I watch. He was drawing this yesterday as a potential descending triangle, which is a bearish bias. But I don't quite see it that, and I definitely don't want to be in opposition to Carl, because he's awesome and he knows what he's doing from many more years of trading than me. But we have got higher lows. So I would put that on a very, very slight angle, which would mean that this would be a symmetrical triangle. We've come into it from the upside, which means its bias is breakout to the upside. And we have actually already broken out to the upside and come back down and confirmed that level of the previous resistance as support. So if I bring this up and make this big for you, we come in and have a really good look at what's happened. We get a breakout candle to the upside in this green candle here. We've retraced to touch it. And I think that if we come back up today and we maybe create a higher high here or here, that's looking really bullish. If we don't, and we fail to create a higher high, if we fail to go over, say, 41,688 by the end of today, going into tomorrow morning, with that final descent on that full moon, it's possible that we could come back down, even come all the way back down and retouch this bottom, because we have broken out of this triangle a little bit early. Does that make sense? So you want to be watching for really strong positions in this trade. I'm going to come back to Bitcoin and go down and have a look at the 1 hour to see if there's any trade setups. But to me, this looks like we could be creating a bull flag, which is a bullish pattern. But I want to go over to Ethereum. Ethereum on the monthly is looking like a megaphone, which is a volatile pattern, right? Because the more we go ahead in time, the more we could swing to the downside, more we could swing to the upside with quite a lot of volatility. And then if we bring in the daily, let's have a look at the daily. Those dots there are the moon phases. We are traveling in a symmetrical triangle as well, with a bullish, we've come into it from the downside. We came up into this triangle, and that is going to take us to 38,034 maybe. So it's possible that within the next 24 hours, we could come all the way back up to this resistance, test it, and then come back down to test that before breaking up to the upside for that full moon pump, if we're going to get it. The full moon is on a Friday in the morning, Eastern time, which means we're going to be going into weekend trading. And we never want pumps over the weekend because of that whole CME gap. Like if the CME is, closes and Bitcoin is at this price, and then over the weekend we pump and Bitcoin comes up to here. And then when we come back into volume trading and the CME opens on a Sunday afternoon, the CMEs get closed more often than not, like 95, 98% of the time, which means we're going to come back down again. So, I mean, who knows, what could happen here. The Ichimoku Cloud could know though. So let's look at the Ichimoku Cloud here on the 4 hour. The Ichimoku Cloud, I use those guys who are new. We've done quite a bit of training on this, so you can check out our other videos on our channel. And it's very messy. The Ichimoku Cloud is looking like we've still got bullish momentum for another day, and then we've got possibly a hard dump. Right, the Ichimoku Cloud is made up of a number of things like moving averages and price action, and it's going. What have we got here on the 4 hourly? Yeah, it's flipped bullish. This is the baseline of the Ichimoku Cloud, and this green here is the conversion line, and it's crossed, which usually means we're going to get some kind of a move to the upside. If there are other bullish indicators, i.e. green ahead of us, which we do have for at least another day, but we do have the lagging span under the cloud. It's not above the cloud, but at least it's above the price action, so it's not in resistance. So there's a little bit of resistance above us, but not too much. So let me bring in the retracement levels. Actually, no, let me bring in where could we pump to in the next day? Usually we want to look for the golden ratio and the 50% mark here. We could retrace back to 25.97, possibly even lower, because we've got some support lines under us from the bigger triangle all the way down at 24.66. So that's a possibility. And then, oopsie, and then if we keep pumping up, the next level would be the golden ratio. Like if we break this, we break up above this candle, come up above, retest and come up, then we're looking at 29.40. So you've got a ways to go to get back up to 3,000. And if you remember, this is the downward channel that breaks bullish. It's broken to the upside. We came back down to test resistance, and now we're coming up to see if we're going to create a higher high at around about 27.78 to confirm that we are playing out this bullish pattern, which has a target all the way up to where the first candle touches at around 3,037. So we have bullish structure for Ethereum. We are heading up short term. We could continue heading up today and then have a little bit of a retracement, especially if this ends up being a bull flag on the daily, or actually I wanted to have a look at it on the hourly. No, it's not looking like a bull flag on the hourly, but we do have a cup and handle, and we do have a cup and handle pattern for Bitcoin as well. That is, here's what's happened here. We've broken out of the cup here. We came all the way back down to retest this as support. We got heavily rejected off of it. So this is an indication that this pattern could be playing out right now, in which case you could scalp this as a long. Personally, I'm already in an Ethereum, and I'm actually looking at getting out before the full moon to get back in at a lower level. I'm just watching it. I don't know if I'll definitely do that, but I'm just watching. So the cup and handle, oopsie, has broken out here, and that has a target of 27.68. So whenever you've got a couple of targets, a really good strategy that we like to use here at Conscious Crypto Traders is to take 50% out of the trade here, or even 75% out. So we've got profit, the trade's profitable, and then when it retraces back down to one of these support levels down here, we add back into the trade and write it up, rather than waiting it out to see if it's going to go higher, because we're so volatile right at the moment, and especially with geopolitics, we can get these sudden dumps, in which case, if you're holding on to a trade for too long, you lost all of that profit. So really think about what strategy you want to be using here at this time now that we are so volatile. But that is a cup and handle. And if you look at the Ichimoku Cloud, we've got bullish structure here for the next so this is confirming that around about the 17th to the 18th of March we could get bullish momentum to the upside, which is the full moon. And full moon is usually when we've found the bottom. Like we can often dump or retrace back into the full moon, and full moon happens and boom, we get a reversal. And sometimes it's right on time. We get the reversal right as we go into the full moon. And other times it's a day before or a day after. So I always say that 3 days around the full moon and the new moon are days where you want to trade very consciously and very carefully, because you can get those sudden moves, right? And if you can use this to know that it's coming and you can protect your trades, then you're going to increase your win-loss ratio. So let's have a look at Bitcoin. On the 1 hourly, I wanted to show you. Look at this, it's retracing. As we speak, we're watching this. Let's have a look at this on the 1 hourly. No, actually, let me just get these. Let me get this in here. Where is it going to, if we went here, just get this whole move sorted. We could be retracing to 39,603. But as I said before, we could retrace all the way back down to the bottom of this line here, which is 37,778 at the moment, or depending on when we touch it, because it'll go up the longer it takes us to get down there. Or we could go lower. In theory, we could go lower. We could go to 35,000, 36,000. But I'm really in favor of this being a bullish trend, that we're just coming back down to test some smaller support levels before heading on up and going to the upside. This could be a fake out, like we could come back down here, trade within here for another week and before breaking out. That's what we need to watch out for. So if we do break out here, like if we do reverse and we get that full moon pump around here and come back up, create a higher high at above 41,741, then it's more likely that we're going to head to 44,217, get a bit of a reversal, because that's a golden ratio, boom, come back down, and then head back up to fulfill this pattern target, which is 48,179 there. Awesome, got it. So careful trading. I'll see if I can do a post, a video tomorrow, and I won't go live. I'll just do an emergency video tomorrow, the next day, and the next day for you. So make sure that you're subscribed, hit the bell and click all so you get notified of that. You can always see our daily technical analysis video that we post every single morning in the Americas time zone, and that's over at our Discord channel, which is Conscious Crypto. And you can see the handle is down below in our description there. So that is that. Now, just to finish off, I want to go back to the time frame on the daily of what to expect if the patterns that we've had in the past play out. Usually, and you might want to screenshot this so you've got these dates here. Usually when the market tops out for Bitcoin, we get the Bitcoin reversal into the bearish market. And then Ethereum starts taking off, and it's kind of Ethereum plus the Ethereum related altcoins, and we get an Ethereum altcoin season, the higher cap altcoins. So they have a week or two of pumping while Bitcoin's dumping, because money's coming out of Bitcoin and it's going into those higher cap alts. Then when Ethereum starts dumping, you get the lower cap alts season. Right, and this is usually when you see, well, XRP is not a lower cap, but usually after the altcoin season, XRP has its own season, and we don't know how the SEC lawsuit is going to affect that pattern this year, but you can expect that XRP generally, I think we get good news out of that, and we're starting to get good news out of that court case, could take off regardless of what's going on in the markets, just because it's been suppressed and the price has been held down through price manipulation and FUD and FOMO and all that sort of thing. So that's that. Now this season, and this is why I've gotten into NFTs, once all of the profit flows out of Bitcoin into Ethereum, and high cap altcoins flows out of that, and then flows into those smaller cap altcoins. The profit's going to come out of that and possibly flow into NFT and metaverse coins, as well as NFTs. Maybe some DeFi, like Chainlink, for example, often does really well in a bear market. Like, it has its cycle very similar to the stock market. It doesn't just keep going down, down, down. So this is one of the reasons why I've gotten into NFTs. I've got some NFT and metaverse coins. But NFTs, and if you don't know what NFTs are, non-fungible tokens, it's basically digital artwork that's been tokenized. So it's kind of like crypto that you store on a wallet like MetaMask. And a lot of that is, a lot of the art, you can also download the actual printable version. So you have the printable version of the art as well as the digital version in the token form on your wallet. And in the last 3 months, NFTs have skyrocketed in price because crypto money's come out of the crypto market, and people are looking at where's the growth, and the NFT and the metaverse is the growth industry. And that's the number one reason why, you know, we're doing an NFT project, but our NFT project's all about raising consciousness on the planet, because we're conscious crypto traders, and bringing about a freedom consciousness, which is not the consciousness to just do whatever you want and go out there and harm people. That's called addiction. That is not freedom consciousness. Freedom consciousness is something that we explain quite a bit on our Twitter account. So join Twitter, have a read of what we've got here. And you know, if you want to get in on one, the floor price is pretty low at the moment. We're expecting the next load of NFTs to go up that we could double that price. That's what we're expecting. I can't promise that, and I can't give you financial advice, but we're working really hard to build value for those of you who are investing or collecting our artwork in digital form. And you can get downloadables as well. We've got freedom consciousness affirmations. We've got a printable and a wall hanger so that you can stick it on your screen and have a screenshot for that. And we've got 3 different sizes. We've got portrait, landscape, and square. So definitely check it out. And if you feel our project is going to have value over time because of all of the things that we're doing to build value to that, we would certainly love for you to be part of our community. The details with our website, the OpenSea account, as well as our Twitter is there. We'd love for you to follow us on Twitter, because we're starting to do tutorials on how to invest in NFTs and create your own NFTs and make money from that. So you can learn a lot from there. We're going to post some of it on this channel, but most of it's going to be posted on Twitter. Okay. So I'm going to post that for you to take a screenshot of, so you can know this is possibly, again, not financial advice, this is possibly how the money is going to flow. So if you're wanting to elongate your profits, you need to start getting educated into altcoins, lower cap altcoins, NFT metaverse, NFTs in general, DeFi, because that's where the money is more than likely going to flow as we come out of Bitcoin's top of the market and head down to the downside on that. So, hey, thanks for likes. I'm going to finish up now, and I would just love one more big bash at likes, because we've got a lot more people watching than liking, and there's a lot of energy that we give here, a lot of preparation. So we're giving out a lot, and one way of returning the favor for us would be to like this video right now. That like button, we'd really love for you to do that, and even post a comment, ask questions, and maybe we'll make a video on that for you, because this is a tutorial channel. So if you're not subscribed, we'd love your subscription. Just hit that subscribe button, click the bell, and hit all, and we will see you in the next live stream next Wednesday, 11:30 Central Standard Time or Mountain Time, as well as tomorrow and the next day, actually all through the weekend as we're coming into this full moon dump into a pump. I'm going to do a short video every day, even if it's just a minute, just to give you an idea of where we could be going, what the Ichimoku Cloud is saying, where we're at with the moving averages. I didn't do the moving averages today. I didn't kind of feel like I needed to, because I think other things are in play that are very strong in the charts right now, which is the overall patterns as well as the Fibonacci retracement levels, which we went over. Thanks so much, everybody. And until we meet again, make sure, especially around full moon, to trade consciously, be aware, protect your trades, and know that we could have a sudden move in either direction over the next couple of days. Bye for now.